We head International 2 West now, where unfortunately the top of the table meeting between Camborne and Clifton, which we gave the big build-up to last week, fell foul to the weather. But second place Taunton Titans were in action, and they shared the spoils with Redruth down at Veritas Park. A Dan Rutter penalty 2 minutes from time clinched a 10-all draw for Redruth, and that result for Taunton Titans means they remain unbeaten at home, but they were only able to cut the gap down to 4 points between themselves and league leaders Camborne. Now, at the other end of the table, Hinckley came out on top in a proper battle against Old Redcliffians at Scotland Lane, winning 21-19 to record arguably their best result of the season so far. A really effective performance from Chris Campbell's side, who actually had 2 players in the sin bin in the final 10 minutes, but they were able to hold out, and it is a result which leaves Hinckley 9 points clear of the bottom 2, and they've edged ahead of Exeter University, whose game against Luxtonians was postponed due to Storm Dara. At the top, you could say Cinderford were the big winners in round 12 as a late Harry Johnson penalty clinched a 2018 win at Bourneville for Clive Stewart-Smith's side, and they are now up to 3rd in the standings. And one of the other games that did take place last weekend was at the Nest, where bottom of the table Devonport Services were beaten 33-24 by 9th placed Hornets. A bonus point for Devonport Services was earned thanks to a hat-trick from club stalwart Matt Gregory, but it might have felt like one that got away from Ben Russell's side, because I think they were only sort of 2 points behind Hornets around the 55-minute mark, but 2 tries after the hour by Hornets proved to be decisive as Devonport Services, unfortunately from their perspective, slipped to another away defeat. So, but as you know, this is Devonport Services' first ever season in National League Rugby following their promotion from Regional 1 Southwest last year. And since their promotion, they've actually remained as a fully amateur side. And this weekend, they welcome top of the table Camborne to the Rectory Field. So what an occasion that is going to be for everybody connected to Devonport Services. And it might, in a way, feel like a daunting prospect as well. But Devonport have actually won their last 2 home games against Redruth and Loughborough Students, and you can tell they are very much still up for the fight in National 2 West. So we caught up with Honorary Secretary and Lieutenant Fraser Pearson, as well as head coach Ben Russell, to see how they have found life in National 2 West so far. But also, we wanted to learn a little bit more about the club.
I think the lads are really taken to it. I think they've enjoyed the experience. Obviously, we had a tough start, losing it on the bounce and stuff. But we sort of found our feet now. We're more competitive. Picking up 2 wins in the last 4 has been very good for us and stuff, and the boost of confidence a bit and stuff. So yeah, it's been good. We've enjoyed the experience. It's been tough at times, like I said. But yeah, the lads are just buying into it and cracking on. A lot of our lads as well, they've played level 8 rugby, they've played level 7 rugby, and they're now playing level 4. We've got Captain Matt Gregory and stuff. He's got well over 300 caps. He's been there and he's had a season of, getting, like he told the boys like 3 or 4 weeks ago, getting pumped every game, not winning the game and stuff and everything else. And, from what they've just achieved individually and as a collective is just fantastic. And then we're not giving up. We are fighting every weekend, and that just epitomises the players we have. They love the club, they buy into the club, and they just want the club to do well. So
our first team is mainly made up of players who've come through our youth setup. That's what gives them their sort of bonding, and they've been together for quite some time now. There are other players in there as well, but the majority of our first team are youth team players who've come through the club, and that, it goes right through the club as well. It's not just in first team, it goes right through. We've got 3 senior teams, Colts team, a full youth setup, and it's, everyone fights for the same goal. They wear the badge and they fight for Devonport Services.
Yeah, and you touched on it there, Fraser, so it seems like a good time to maybe ask you about it, sort of kind of the backstory of the club and the makeup of the club, really, because some people who follow National League Rugby might not be too aware of how you guys operate as a club. I know it's been well publicised, you are a fully amateur outfit, so could you maybe give us a brief summary of what Devonport Services are all about?
Yeah, we'll do. I've been with the club since 1988. I actually joined the Royal Navy in 1987. That's 37 years ago, so I'm not sure if I like that or not yet. I'm still working it out. But I joined Devonport Services in 1988, at which time you had to be a member of the armed forces to be able to play for the club. Now, that changed in 1994 when we became an open club, but we still have to have 51% of our membership associated with the armed forces, either directly employed by the armed forces or by an industry partner. With the ground we play on is called the Rectory Field. We've been there since in the 1920s sometime, can't remember, but I think it's 23. That is owned by the Ministry of Defence. We are tenants of this ground, so and we play on it, week in, week out. We've now since 1994, we've now got a full youth setup. So we've been growing players through the youth setup since then. 3 senior teams, Colts team. We've got a full ladies setup now as well. Ladies teams plus youth ladies teams down to under 14s, under 13s. And the club over the last sort of 6 years with these promotions has gone from strength to strength to strength. It's grown and grown and grown. Now, the committee of the club, there are quite a couple of, we have to have a chairman that's on the Naval Base board. So he's on the Naval Base board, Captain Ben Stafford, he's the chairman. I'm obviously the secretary, so I run the day-to-day running of the club, so day-to-day stuff comes through me. And then we've got obviously a full committed committee, I call them, because they work voluntarily on the club's behalf to try and get us, where we need to be.
This club is amazing, Chris, because it's just the people who run it, the volunteers who run it, and the players who want to play. They bought into everything I wanted to bring to how I want to play the game, and they've all bought into it, and that's where the success comes from. This club wouldn't be successful without the players.
What a journey it's been as well. Just to get to this level of rugby is the highest level we've ever been at, obviously. And to play these teams week in, week out. We play in Taunton the other week. Ola DeVito's in the back line. Crikey. We would have thought we'd be playing international rugby players back along. But, it's been a great journey, and hopefully we can improve our performance second half of the season and stay where we are. Fingers crossed.
So how important was it last month for you guys to open your account in National League Rugby? Ben touched on it at the start. It was possibly a very tough opening couple of months, but to get 2 wins out of 3 in November surely gives you guys something to work with going into the Christmas period, but more so the second half of the season.
Yeah, definitely. That first win against Red Roof at home, and we used that game as on the 9th of November as our sort of Remembrance Day game. So Red Roof were up against it anyway there. So a great win. And the party afterwards was pretty good as well. And then we did the same against Loughborough Students, but there was a storm. I can't remember the name of the storm at the time, but that helped us on that game as well. So yeah, 2 good wins, and we're going to build it for the second half of the season and keep it going if we can.
Just on that, Ben, how much belief has the 2 wins in November given the squad? Because I know it was well documented at the start of the year. You had a lot of injuries, which never helps any team, but probably impacts a newly promoted team even more. And do you guys feel like you've now settled a little bit more in the league because of what's happened in November?
Yeah, massively. I think, the start of the year, we had 15 boys out, who would have been in and around the first team squad and stuff. And just... yeah, it was getting that win and the belief. Like in most of the games, like a lot of the games, we were competitive. We felt we were going for 40, 50 minutes and stuff. And we were competitive, we were competing, we were scoring tries. It was just trying to stay in the game. And I think at this level, and it's a fantastic league, Chris, like all the national leagues are, and I think stepping up from level 5 to level 4, it was a mistake at level 4 will cost you. That one slip tackle, that one missed line out, that one will cost you massively. And I think it's just the boys adapting to that, getting used to that. The physicality, the pace of the game was bigger. The belief's there with lads, and we're getting a few people back, so the squad's getting stronger again. But it's the boys are buying in, the belief's there, and, going to Camborne this weekend, we know what they're about. They've got a fantastic squad. They've got a squad that's probably good enough for the level up now, kind of thing. So it's just about, I hope another storm comes, we can get a bit of trench warfare again, but, get another Bertie or a Darragh come along. But yeah, no, it's good. We're enjoying it. We're enjoying the battle. We're enjoying the competitiveness, and we've adapted now to what's needed at this level to compete and to win games. So if we've got any hope to try and stay in this league and stay in this league, like picking up wins at home is the big thing for us. It would be nice to get away win as well. Like get one on the road would be nice as well, obviously. But yeah, at home, I think you used to look at most teams. I think Bourneville told me the first game of the year last year, they lost every away game. But they won 12 out of 14 home games, whether it's 12 out of 13 home games or 11 out of 13. So, I think if you can win most of your home games, you've got a massive chance of staying up. So, we started a bit slowly, but the last two, we've picked up 2 wins and stuff. So, touching wood things, see if we can get a result this weekend. It'll be a tough one, but we'll fight to the end and see where we're at. So.
And obviously, Fraser, the game itself is a big occasion on Saturday on the pitch with the 80 minutes rugby against a very talented Camborne side, as Ben said, with the likes of Josh Matavesi rocking up at the Rectory. But it's also a big day for club sponsors as well. I think it's the final sponsors day of the year for the club.
It's the final sponsors day of the year, but not the final sponsors day of the season. We've got another one in the second half of the season, but we wouldn't be where we are today without our sponsors. So I just want to thank them for supporting us and getting us to where we are now. And hopefully they will stay with us in the future because, rugby clubs of our stature, of our level, need sponsors to be able to put teams out on the pitch and also to put teams up and down the country out on the pitch. It's, there's a big travel budget in this league, right up to Macclesfield and everywhere. So without the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do it. So thanks to them.
So a big thanks to both Fraser and Ben for their time earlier on this week. Really interesting to find out a bit more about Devonport Services as they build up to a big day against Camborne on Saturday. It is the club's final sponsors day of the calendar year. So if you are thinking of heading to the Rectory Field on Saturday, we'd absolutely encourage you to do so. It is a full day of entertainment down there, including live music in the evening. So it feels like an ideal way to really get into the festive spirit by giving Devonport Services Rugby Club a visit on Saturday afternoon. So let's just have a look at the rest of the fixtures for round 13 in National 2 West, and we'll start with Cinderford, who are now unbeaten in 4 games, and welcome an Exeter University side who have won just 1 of their last 5 games. So Gareth Elliott's Chargers will be keen to try and improve on that before Christmas. Clifton will be aiming to pick up from where they left off with their game versus Camborne postponed last Saturday. They head into this Saturday's meeting with Bourneville still on a 6-match winning run, and that is something they'll be looking to extend this weekend. Fellow title candidates and table toppers Camborne go to Devonport Services. As we've said, the league leaders will be eager to return to winning ways after losing to Cinderford at the end of November. Hinkley, fresh from their win over Old Redcliffians, host the Taunton Titans side, who are unbeaten in their last 3 games. Luctonians face Old Redcliffians at Mortimer Park. Now, for those with good memories, you may remember that these 2 sides actually met on the same weekend last year, albeit at Scotland Lane, where Old Redcliffians prevailed on that occasion. So what will occur in Herefordshire on Saturday? Macclesfield are back on home turf and welcome Hornets to Priory Park. The 2 bottom half sides that Mac have actually played at home this season, they have beaten. So can they do the same again when 9th placed Hornets visit Cheshire? And lastly, Loughborough Students, who beat Macclesfield 29-19 last time out to record their first win since the end of September, will go to Redruth in better spirits.